grabbing shit, running circles round them laughing shit. Picture painting once the past is said. Non-acquainted couldn't match the pen. Smoke, gone where the ashes went. Smelling me, she like my natural scent. Seen the play, I got a fast assessment. Innovative with a mass investment. Laying it on the stand. Always knowing like I'm omniscient. Came with sauce, it came with condiments. Hypocrite, you like the condescend. Quake, stomping on private lands. Show the vision in a finer sense. Full of nothing and incompetent. Fuck a threat, it ain't no competition. Couldn't break it, but it probably been. Type to be playing on both sides, they be politicking. Hey, I never needed a cosign, I got mine enlisted. 21 pockets to toe lines, cause I'm violent twisted. Look, we got the game till the whole signs, cause we eyeing the shits. Turn a knob up where the volume is. Need it bumping like a siren did. Close my eyes and then I count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gon' take you to the promised land. 6 o'clock before I pile it in. 7 reasons not to smile again. 8 to beat up with a violent grin. Hey, look, 9 o'clock try to block ascension. Got some bangers for the opposition. PG County ain't no pot to piss. And know this life ain't what my pops envision. I be jiggy, he be opposite. Look, going sickly was the proposition. Hey, look, this ain't no rapping shit. Running circles round them laughing shit. Picture painting once the past is sin. Non-acquainted couldn't match the pen. Smoke, gone where the ashes went. Look, don't wish me well, or wish me nothing I can't sell, or roll in a plane. Shell of my problems, my brain swell in the fog of abyss, and still I solve on my chest. Crumble to solve and digress. Don't do the sobbing, it's kept sacred and sovereign. Woken in solace against the pigeon doctrine. Shit, all of the lines that were drawn, picketed wall and a fence. Long as my arms sitting up for the formative stress. Living regardless, driven and harmless, giving in moments like this, but couldn't palm it be easy. Signing these letters, they call for tithing and offering. I'm taking mine, jumping off of the ledge. Aware and cognizant, seen it through an acknowledgement. Kept pursuit in my back pocket in iron and sharpeners. I seen them folding like shaman and fabric softeners on my dick and esophagus. Fucking around all of my gifts grew from a seed that we stuck in the ground. Palm in the wrist. This ain't no look, this ain't no shit. This ain't no rapping shit. Look, hey, this ain't no rapping shit. Running circles round them laughing shit. Picture painting once the past is sin. Non-acquainted couldn't match the pen. Smoke, gone where the ashes went. Smelling me, she like my natural scent. Seen the play, I got a fast assessment. Innovative with a mass investment. Laying it on the stand. Always knowing like I'm omniscient. Came with sauce, it came with condiments. Hypocrite, you like the condescend. Quake, stomping on private lands. Show the vision in a finer sense. Full of nothing and incompetent. Fuck a threat, it ain't no competition. Couldn't break it, but it probably been. Type to be playing on both sides, they be politicking. Hey, I never needed a cosign, I got mine enlisted. 21 pockets to toe lines, cause I'm violent twisted.
Oh my God. Yo, it's Jexy. Shout out Sleep Movement, representing for Sleep Movement. I'm going to talk about the moon in Gemini through the houses and the full moon phase, because we're in a full moon phase right now. I'm like, fuck Christmas. Christmas is cool. I don't got nothing against Christmas, to be honest. But fuck Christmas. And no offense to nobody who celebrates holidays, but fuck holidays. I feel like we should all come together and create our own holiday. Shout out Dolo. for inspiring that idea. But there's so much truth in that, because we find ourselves throughout our lives just following a system, constantly following a system, and putting energies into spaces that are presented to us, as opposed to creating our own space and putting a more superior meaning to that, and attributing our energies towards that. So fuck Christmas. Christmas is, they put that shit once the sun went into Capricorn, because it goes into Capricorn 3 degrees. Sun's at 3 degrees Capricorn. Merry Christmas. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the moon and Gemini through the houses. Talk about the full moon phase too. So it's a full moon phase, which means we about to have a full moon. We're already starting to feel the senses of that energy if you're in tune with yourself. Things start to get more like tense in terms of like the emotional support that's out here in the skies for niggas to like lean on for whatever it is that they're trying to put energy towards. And ain't none, because it's full. The moon is full. It's fulfilled and full with all of the emotional backing that we've been putting and emitting throughout the waxing cycle. So we're at the final stages of the waxing cycle, which means you should be in the final stages of what you're putting work towards for this initial 2 weeks. But I will break down the moon and Gemini through the houses. Sun's in Capricorn, so you should be paying attention to what you're being the boss of, your status, what you're putting energy towards building to secure that status that properly suits the backing of the work, that properly reflects what you've been working on, what you've been structuring, what you've been building, and the goals, and what you've been achieving. Those things. You should be paying attention to and acting towards those things. And everyone got Capricorn in a certain house. So the moon is transiting the house that you got Capricorn in. No, not Capricorn. Sorry. That's the sun. The moon is transiting the house you got Gemini in. But the sun is in Capricorn. So you should be acting and paying attention towards that shit. But yeah. Gemini ascendants. If you got Gemini in the first house, you talking a lot about your personal issues, your personal life, the people, places, and things in your personal life. You're doing the things that you like to do, like all the little hobbies that you have as a Gemini ascendant. You may be participating in all those things, like you're doing all that shit. You may be talking a lot about that shit, or talking about that shit in general to the people, to the personal people in your life. Like you may be irritating some people in your personal life just because you can't shut the fuck up about some, like, you know, whatever it is, your hobbies, your personal issues, just like whatever, your mind chatter, just like regular shit. But you should be planting good seeds towards your goals and what you're structuring and building. You should talk a lot about that shit to plant favorable seeds. But yeah, that's in conjunction with the sun too. So sometimes with this in conjunction, sometimes you may misunderstand what is actually being structured or how to communicate that, or really like the information that goes along with trying to structure that. Like there may be a misunderstanding with the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Gemini. So that's something to be aware of. If you got Gemini in the second house, you should be reacting and responding to your values, your value system, and also the seeds that you have to plant and offer to the universe. What do you like? What do you have? Like, what you good at? What's your worth? You should be reacting and responding to structuring, creating stability, or the things that help you do that. And try to talk about that shit. Or come up with new ideas of how to continue doing those things. But watch out for ideas that you don't value and conversations that you don't necessarily value. You should entertain and emotionally be supportive towards conversations and ideas that you value with Gemini in the second house. That's the Taurus ascendants. So Taurus ascendants. Pay attention to that shit. Then you got Aries ascendants. Y'all got Gemini in the third house. So you're going to be reacting and responding to your siblings, your community, the familiar people, places, and things in your life. You're going to be reacting and responding to that shit. Your siblings. Just like familiar things and situations that you're comfortable with, that you've experienced a lot of, that you're just around, that you're usually just around. You're going to be reacting and responding to that shit. And Gemini likes the third house. So talk about that shit. With your friends, communicate positive ideas or beneficial ideas with your friends, siblings, or familiar circumstances that can help you build towards the structure that you've been eyeing on with the sun in Capricorn. Something that you can build towards, something you can be the boss of. With Gemini, the fourth house, you should be reacting and responding to your family, your heart space, what you feel is comfortable, like what you've gained comfortability with, or what you keep close, your domestic issues, your private life. You should be you should be emotionally supporting that right now with Gemini in the third house, especially before the full moon, because the moon rules Cancer. So can't just be feeling it in terms of anytime it's a new or full moon in general, because they're familiar with that, like minimizing and maximizing energy, the polar shifts of an emotional state, just because of the archetype of that energy and what that energy represents. So with Cancer, what is that, Gemini in the fourth house? Yeah. Make sure you support supportive ideas and communications that reflect your private life and your heart space. Like everything's in order with your wave, like how you are emotionally like receptive to the world, and that space that you've created for yourself of privacy. Like don't be so talkative about that space. You may be wanting to do that shit, but if you are, make sure it's something that's supportive of what you're building towards and a status and a structure. You should do that. But yeah, Gemini in the fifth house, you should be reacting and responding. So with Gemini in the fifth house, wait, hold on, let me go back to fourth house. What ascendant was that? That was a Pisces ascendant. So Pisces ascendant for that fourth house shit. So Aquarius ascendants with Gemini and the fifth house. Yeah, Aquarius ascendants with Gemini in the fifth house. You should be reacting and responding to your entertainment life, what you entertain and what you're being entertained by. And also expressing yourself, creatively expressing yourself in a way that suits your identity. So only react and respond and emotionally be supportive towards ideas that suit your identity, and also pertain to your entertainment life, like how you have fun and like to enjoy yourself. So you may be like, it may be like shit up, Merry Christmas type shit, but fuck Christmas. So yeah, Gemini in the 6th house, you should be reacting and responding to your everyday life, like your daily activities, your schedule, your routine, and what you're working on. And you should be like in the lab for real. You should be in the lab for real, just like mentally in the lab, really organizing, because that's a very mercurial energy. So you can get a lot done, and you can come up with a lot of good ideas, and also start structuring that idea, which will also support the Capricorn energy that you're paying attention to when it comes to your goals and what you're trying to be the boss of. So you should do that shit. Then you got Gemini in the 7th house. React and respond to your relationships and what you're trying to balance. Yeah, react and respond to that shit. And maybe have those conversations with your relationships so that you can continue to structure whatever it is that you're paying attention to right now. Gemini in the 8th house. React and respond to your passions, motivations, and desires, but your deep ones, your internal ones that only you know about. And make sure you're not so talkative about these things, but come up with like positive ideas and more informative like air qualities. Like you suffocate that house. So give that house some like air, some breathing room for real. You got to give yourself emotionally some breathing room right now if you got Gemini in the 8th house. So make that deep feeling and that deep circumstance and space of the 8th house more light, and something that you can maybe even journal about if it can't necessarily be talked to with somebody else. But with people who you can be like really private and secretive with, that really understand like the ongoings of the depth of an emotional environment. If you have those types of relationships, you can talk about that. It'll be beneficial, because it may take those type of deep conversations to transform something towards building something that suits the status and purpose of the goal that you had in mind and that you're paying attention to. So if you got Gemini in 8th house, do that. If you got Gemini in the 9th house, you should react and respond to your experiences and higher knowledge and what you know and your teachings. You should really try to inform what you know. Like get more information about the meaning that you've placed on experiences to have some sort of moral compass, morality, or some sort of broad philosophical awareness over that situation. Get more information and insight on that to balance that out, because Gemini in the 9th house are opposite energy. Like their energies occupy opposite spaces. So Gemini is oftentimes more informative but lacks experience and the information that comes with that. And then the 9th house is more Sagittarian energy, where it has a lot of experience and knowledge from experience, but it doesn't necessarily know the details of what makes something, but it knows like the overall meaning of it. So kind of balance that energy if you got Gemini in the 9th house. If you got Gemini in the 10th house, start talking about your business and what you're trying to build and structure and be the boss over, especially with the Sun in Capricorn. and before the moon is full, because when the moon is full, you gotta relax, you gotta chill, and yeah. So Gemini in 10th house, talk about that shit. Come up with ideas that can help structure what you're building and your business, and like your friends. Talk to your friends about, creating a business. And then Gemini in the 11th house, you reacting and responding to your associations and who you associated with, the communities that you associated with. You're having conversations and thoughts about that type shit, because you may be having positive thoughts about, like, I can associate with this community and this person that I know from this place type shit that can help me build whatever it is that I'm trying to structure right now. Those are the kind of thoughts that you're having right now. So if it's positive, do that. Don't do it for no bullshit. That's pretty much the whole thing with all the houses. Like, the negative seeds is when you're using the energy, because this is the energy that you're going to be, depending on what house you have, wherever the moon is at. If we're talking about the moon transits, this is the energy that you're going to be feeling, or receiving is really the word I was looking for. So, like, regardless of that, like, it's if you just use it for shit that's not necessarily what you're trying to do. So I guess it's funny because a lot of this life shit just sums up to this, is like finding out what you want to do, or like what you're trying to do, like what you want to do. That's really what it comes down to. A lot of the times, and the sun is in Capricorn, so it's about that. But right now, because it's like, what do you want to do, and then you just be deciding for it. So. Yeah. And then the 12th house. If you got a Gemini in the 12th house, you should be reacting and responding to your dreams and your solo time. Like, you should be like in your own little like space that has the right emotional environment that allows you to mentally aspire with like take your thoughts, because that would be Gemini, and go far out with them, because that would be the 12th house Piscean energy. Go far out with them, like go far out with thinking and communicating about your dreams and your creativity, and kind of gain information in that realm that's beneficial for whatever dream that you do have, so that you can use that information to help you build that shit and structure it. So yeah, do that shit with but don't be flunked though. Don't be like too much in la la land, like talking about like a whole bunch of shit, crazy shit, like that don't really mean nothing. So yeah, that's that Gemini through the houses. Jixie from Sleep Movement, in this bitch.